episode format just a bit from what you're used to on the show, because normally you would have one podcast host and one podcast guest, but today you get a 3-for-1. So 3 podcast hosts have come together to share their thoughts on why so many New Year's resolutions fail and how you can avoid potential pitfalls and hit the ground running to make 2023 your best year yet. And because we will release this episode on all our podcasts, I think it's probably best if we start with a super quick introduction. And since I'm already talking, I'll go ahead and just introduce myself. So, hey everyone, my name is Claudia Garbutt, and I'm a molecular biologist turned mindset and high performance coach who teaches ambitious and mission-driven entrepreneurs how to work smarter, not harder, by working with their brains and bodies instead of against them. And I'm also the host of the Wired for Success podcast, where we talk about all things science, self-development, and entrepreneurship that help you get to that next level of success in your life and business. Now, Ron, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself in a sentence or two and tell us a little bit about your wonderful podcast?
Sure. Thank you, Claudia. I'm Dr. Ron Kaiser. I'm a positive health psychologist and coach. I'm also a keynote and TEDx speaker and a podcaster with 2 podcasts, Rejuvenaging with Dr. Ron Kaiser and Growing Older with Enthusiasm. I'm the author of the book, Rejuvenaging, The Art and Science of Growing Older with Enthusiasm, and my goal is to help people work throughout the lifespan to maintain a positive outlook, to maintain control over the way that they lead their lives so that they don't fear the aging process and so that they can stay happy, healthy, and productive throughout their lifespan.
That's a great mission for sure. Thank you, Ron. And last but not least, we have Sebastian with us today. So Sebastian, what should people know about you and your work and about your podcast?
Yeah, thanks, Claudia. And I hope I can do this in 2 sentences.
You can use 3 if you like.
Yeah. So my name is Sebastian Schieke. I'm an entrepreneur for over 25 years now. I'm a business angel and investor, and I'm a mentor to CEOs. So we help primarily tech CEOs grow their companies and really reach the next level. And I also run a podcast, which is called the High Performance CEO Podcast. And this has been an amazing experience so far. I'm interviewing high performance CEO and extract their success habits. You know, what makes them really successful and what do they do to grow their amazing companies? And it's been a great passion of mine. And the podcast is something which we started this year, and it's been an amazing journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Success leaves clues, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So guys, thank you so much for showing up today and for sharing your insights and your tips with everyone. Because the reason why we've come together today is to discuss a phenomenon that we are probably all familiar with, which is the fact that a huge number of New Year's resolutions just fail each year. I actually looked up some numbers for you guys today. So according to past studies and surveys, a whopping 80% of New Year's resolutions will have been abandoned by February. And now, obviously, that's not a good thing, especially since the most common resolutions are usually health related. Like there are things like exercising more or losing weight or quitting smoking. And I think we all know at some level that sticking with those resolutions would really benefit us in the long run. Yet creating the desired change is often so much easier said than done. So why is this? Ron, what is one of the reasons why so many people just don't follow through? And how can your goal achieving psychotherapy help people stay on track?
Sure. I think one of the things that I've learned in working with patients throughout the lifespan, but with particular emphasis recently on older adults, is that people approach this with the wrong mindset. They approach it with what I call the "too" excuse. That's TOO, that I'm too old, I'm too emotional, I'm too set in my ways, I'm too ill. We attach some kind of negative thing at the start, as opposed to looking at what is the goal and what can we do to achieve that goal. Not what can we do to undermine it, but what can we do to achieve that goal. Because otherwise, you've defined the rules of the game as something that's unachievable. It's kind of like agreeing to play golf with somebody and showing up with a tennis racket and saying, how am I ever going to be able to play? This, the game is wrong. And I think it's the same thing, if I can't change my eating habits because I'm starting out with the assumption that if I go hungry, there's an alternative, staying hungry for a while, and that's that I have to eat. So I think, the whole mindset that I'm to something is one of the real impediments that we have to overcome. So if we can change it from a negative to excuse mindset to a positive one by setting and maintaining goals, I think the odds are much, much greater of having a successful New Year's resolution.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, Sebastian, what are your thoughts on that? What's one of the things that you have seen over and over again that trips people up or that causes them to quit quickly? And what can we do to eliminate this problem?
Yeah, I really love Ron's approach of this to excuse. I really have to remember this. I see this a bit in a broader context. We support our clients for years doing goal setting for New Year's Eve. And what we realize is that, we have this 3-step approach. First of all, we reflect on the previous year. What happened in this year? Many people, they look back and they have a negative feeling about the previous year. They didn't reach their goals. A lot of things happened, and this has an impact on your future goal setting, because if you go into this process with a negative mindset, what you expect to get out of this. Yeah. So we really focus on the positive side to finish the previous year strong. And then we look at goals in a holistic way. Yeah. When we look at our life, it's more than one aspect. You have business, you have health, you have family, you have friends, you have education, different aspects. And I believe that these areas have to be balanced, in order to be successful and to be happy. Imagine like a wheel, if the wheel is not round, then how can you drive the fast speed through your life? It's not possible. So we focus on all aspects of our life and balance these goals out. And then we have this typical, smart process, these smart goals, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And when we set goals, we really teach our customers to be specific and really define the goals in this smart way so that they will know when they reach them and they know what to do. And this all comes with a goal achievement system, which you use throughout the year to work on your goals. So that's what we do.
Thank you so much for sharing. Here are my thoughts on this common issue. So to me, it seems like people usually face two kinds of problems when they set New Year's resolutions that involve changing their habits. The first one is kind of what you already mentioned. They don't have the clarity, they don't have the specificity, and they don't have the vision. Or they have the vision, but they don't act on it. That's the second way that things can go wrong. Because if they don't take inspired action towards their goals, they're not going to achieve them. There's one famous quote about this that I really, really love. It says, vision without action is merely a dream, but action without vision just passes the time. So vision with action can really change the world. And I love that quote because I wholeheartedly believe in this holistic approach. And I believe that we need a vision as well as action in order to create lasting positive change in our lives. And one of the things that I often see derail people is a focus on achieving just a tiny specific goal rather than on building better habits that create lasting change. So what do I mean by this? Well, let's take weight loss as one common New Year's resolution. So you have two ways of approaching that goal, right? One is to go on a strict diet, until you lose the, say, 10 pounds or how much weight you want to lose. Or if that's what you do, you might see those quick results, but then you risk falling back into old patterns just as soon as you stop your diet. And before you know it, you are back gaining the weight. And I guess we're all familiar with this yo-yo effect. You lose the weight, you gain the weight, and it's not a fun game to play for most people. So the other way you could approach your weight loss goal would be to focus on changing your eating habits for good. In that case, you often don't need to make those dramatic changes. You just need those small changes that can have huge effects over time. For example, what if you decided that you stopped drinking soda or other sugary drinks? In a 2009 study, researchers actually found that the weight loss effect of just limiting liquid calories was even stronger than that of a reduction in solid food intake. So it's often so helpful to just uncover those small, tiny habit changes that you can leverage to create lasting change and big results. And the beauty of those small changes is that it creates less resistance and you need less willpower to achieve your goals. So, since we all know that things are so much easier when you don't have to do them on your own, we decided to run 2 awesome events to help you all get a head start in 2023. Sebastian, can you describe the workshop that you have planned and what people can expect when they join you?
Of course. For the last 3 years, we run a yearly event where we help people set clear goals for next year. We help them build a plan, build a master plan for a successful year, and give them a process and a tool set at hand that they can use to implement these goals throughout the year. And I'm so excited that this year we do this again. In the last years, we always run it at the end of the year, the last week in December. But we've been told by so many people that this is such a busy time, and people hardly can find the space and time to focus on this half-day event. So we decided for the first time to run this in the first week in January. So on January the 5th, we run our event called the 7-Figure Year. And the 7-Figure Year doesn't only mean that we focus on a 7-figure year in business. No, 7-Figure is for me an acronym to describe an amazing life, an amazing year, and in all aspects of your life. So on this 7-Figure Year event, this is an interactive event. We want to work with you together. So it's highly engaging. It's highly empowering. It's full of a lot of exercises. And you will finish this event with a clear roadmap for the new year, with clearly defined goals, with a proven method and tool set to implement these goals throughout the year. And most abundantly, you have a lot of fun. You have a lot of fun working together with other participants. And we want to give people certainty that they can achieve their goals for the next year. Because life is we are so bombarded with negativity at the moment through the news. And we want to create an antidote to all this negativity and finish or begin the new year strong with a lot of certainty, fun, and a clear focus on really making this a true 7-figure year. So January the 5th, 10 a.m. Eastern time. And I would love to have you all around. It will be lots of fun and I can't wait.
That sounds amazing. And fun is so important to create those lasting changes, because if you don't enjoy them and you don't have a plan, it's so much harder to get there. So this brings us back to what we already talked about before. You need the vision. It's kind of what you're doing with the people at your workshop. And then we also need the implementation strategy and the inspired action too. And I know you just mentioned you give them the toolbox and all the tools they need, which is great. And this is kind of similar to the approach that we are using for our event as well, because what we are doing is we plan a global virtual summit on habit change and high performance habits. So, Ron, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about the exciting event that the two of us are putting together?
Sure. I'm glad to tell about it. I'm glad that I'm going first because I know you'll correct me and fill in all the blanks and stuff like that. But as you indicated, ours is going to be a global summit on habit change, high performance habits, and it will run for 4 days from January 23rd to January 26th. We've tried to make it such that people can access it relatively easily wherever they are. It's a little difficult if you're in Australia and New Zealand, which occurs during the middle of the day or night rather, but it'll be in the morning in North America. It'll be afternoon in Europe. And we've lined up just a tremendous number and diversity of speakers, individuals who will be presenting on their topic, as well as being able to answer questions to help shape this coming year in a way that we see habit change in a positive direction. We don't operate from the standpoint of looking at we're to this or to that, but rather how can we make things move forward? We've got all kinds of diverse presenters from how to get past negative mindset, how to exercise more effectively, how to build in high performance habits, how to overcome more addictive or negative habits, how to really become the best versions of ourselves, and time management, various kinds of things, almost a menu that will cover the gamut of habits that people can change and can make people want to change, enjoy the process of changing, because again, we're going to be building in not just the discussion of habits, but some real practical advice on how to change and also, quite importantly, how to maintain it. Anybody who's tried to break any habit knows that a lot of times just getting started is not the hard part.
Yeah.
Maintaining it is, and we hope you're going to come away from there with not only the goals, not only the habits that you want to change, but strategies for maintaining it. It dovetails really beautifully on Sebastian's program. I think that people who attend his will really maximize their potential by attending both, and certainly the people who attend our summit, we strongly encourage them to take that first step and learn about the setting of goals in a meaningful way that will ensure that 2023 will be really the best year in your lives, because you'll be doing some things that maybe you've been planning to do for quite a while but haven't gotten around to. And I think that's it from my vantage point.
Yeah, I love how those two events just work together
Yes.
so nicely.
It's amazing because, I mean, habits are required to achieve goals. Yeah. And we cannot teach how to implement habits in this daily workshop. I mean, we will mention it and we will talk about habits, but there's so much about habits. And this is why it's so important that you run this summit where you really focus and really nail on this topic.
Yeah, I think the idea for our event is just to help create more momentum and to give people all the science-based tools, techniques, and strategies that help them live happier, healthier, and more productive lives. And our event is really designed for professionals who want to optimize performance in all areas of their lives and businesses. And we should probably mention that there are replays. So if you are in Australia or in New Zealand and you can't make it live, you can still join us and get the replays. And we are really proud to announce that we have this exceptional lineup of expert speakers from all around the world who are going to cover all those topics that Ron already mentioned. And the way the structure of this event is going to be that our speakers will present 15 to 20 minutes TEDx style talks. And after the talks, the speakers most of the speakers will be there to answer your questions in a live Q&A sessions. So if you have any questions about habit change or about high performance habits and how to integrate them into your life, you want to join us live to get those questions answered by the leading experts. Now, if you know anyone else who would benefit from attending these events, make sure you invite them and bring them along, because a little extra accountability will help you to achieve your goals so much faster, and it's so much more fun. So that's it from me for today. So Ron, Sebastian, is there anything else that you would like to share before we wrap up?
I think we've pretty well covered it from my vantage point. I want to encourage people to show up, tell their friends about it. We're talking about an area that everybody pretty much needs growth in. And the beautiful thing about the two presentations is that you don't have to feel overwhelmed. There is, about 3 weeks or so, 2.5 weeks between the two events. So we can begin to process what you learn at Sebastian's event and hopefully learn more strategies for implementing it at ours.
Definitely. And I just want to say, we only have one life. We only have one life, and we're going to have to make the best out of it, and why not taking this new year as an opportunity to really reflect on your life and create an amazing life for yourself and for your loved ones and for your businesses. So take this opportunity. Yeah. Take this amazing opportunity where you first learn how to really set amazing goals, and then you learn how to implement them. I can't wait. I'm really excited.
Sounds great to me. New year, new you.
New year, new you.
Guys, this has been so much fun. I hope to see you all at those events in January. Let's make 2023 your best year yet. Take care and talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.